Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we are continuing with faction overviews. With this week, the tribes of Harad. Welcome to Harondor, as we are looking to our only available settlement as Harad. Final Bell. Yes, as Harad you start with one province and you need to expand, well, quite quickly actually. Because the majority of your troops is locked behind the script, where we will come to in a moment. So, dealing with your starting position, one region, but quite a notable military force. Here on your eastern part of your province, you have General Utbar. Just across the borders you have Warlord Musab, and in Final Bell you have Serpent Lord Kuzaima. But all comes with a considerable force with at least 4 units. Yes, all of them have 4 units, and you see right away there are quite some mercenaries available as well. So you will be able to field a considerable force at the start of your game, and you will need it. Because that the Haradrim spearmen and archers are not that great actually. The Southrunners are pretty decent, but not amazing. So you will need every man you can muster. But considered you only own one province, your military power is quite considerable. Then dealing with your bodyguards, you have 3 bodyguards. Serpent Lord Kuzaima starts with your regular bodyguard, the Black Snake Guard, a cavalry unit, so pretty deadly, just like Warlord Musab. So both your faction leader and your factionaire has regular bodyguards, but over here, Utbar, you see it right away, the number of men are different. General Utbar starts with Serpent Bladesman, a late tier infantry, well, sword and board infantry, pretty good, and will deal quite some damage early games. So use them well. And then dealing with family tree, and you got one. It's a pretty big one actually. So you have Serpent Lord Kuzaima on the top as faction leader. He has 2 sons, Musab and Utbar. Another 2 daughters and a couple of grandchildren who haven't come of age. It will take quite a while before they come of age actually. Khaldun and Peshtin will be the first one, and it will take 4 turns a year, 12 years, around 48 turns before the first one will come of age. It will be around turn 50 when your first children come of age. But you do have a family tree, which is always nice. Then dealing with expansion. Expansion is pretty important for Harad, because their main script has been built around it. And as you see, well, we have a sea of rebels around us. We have rebels for days. But it's quite open land, few provinces. So it will be pretty hard. Personally, I would go for Talajav. It's pretty close. It's pretty obvious you need to get that, and get Global Mithlond as quickly as possible. And that way you kind of seal the Ar-Adunaim out of expansion, and the rest. It makes it easier for you to expand. And Global Mithlond is a pretty alright settlement. I think it's a city, so it's very defensible. So you shouldn't be worried about taking it. And besides that, I would personally go for this area first. Try to mop up the regions in here. Korondai, Krugmahur. Siakam might fall to Calm, but the rest is basically all yours. As long as you are quickly for Imladris and Gobel-Merland, you can slowly clean up all the other settlements in between. And you will need the amount of rebel regions that's around, but about that later more. Then dealing with custom battle maps. Well, there are not a lot in here. Most of them will be, I think, Eastern base settlements. Is that this Gobel-Merland is Gondorian. Well, apparently most of them are Gondorian, I guess. Rhun might not be, but it's not listed as culture. Oh, it's Man of the East, so Eastern cultured cities. The closest custom battle map is Umbar, down south here. And besides that, Dol Amrod. And if you want more custom settlements, you need to go up the Anduin River and you'll have a lot of custom settlements around Ministerd and Osgiliath. But besides that, not that many custom settlements in this area. Then dealing with diplomacy. Alright, as Harad, you are good friends with Khan, which is just east of you. And you are loyal to Mordor, who are your allies and, well, basically your overlords. And you start at war with Gondor and Dol Amrod. Do note you're not allied to the Ar-Adunaim, so you can deal with them the way you want. But do note that, well, I think, especially late there, they will outclass you. So their mid to late tier units will be way stronger than yours. So if you want to deal with them, I would suggest you take them on early doors. And dealing with buildings and economy, well, starting with a Black Palace, that's your unique building, and it is where your diplomat come from. The other options are, I guess, the Black Havens. No, yes, diplomat and the Tirit Ayar in Dol Amrod, which is not listed, but it's in Dol Amrod. Those are the closest places where you can train another diplomat. Then dealing with ports. You have ports. You have 2 tiers of them. And you have the access of the Longship, which is the weakest ship of all. Everyone will beat you at the sea. Only mercenary cogs are probably worse. But there is a small feature that if you take Umbar, you will be able to train the lowest tier of ships of the Ar-Adunaim, which is these guys, I think. Yes, the Balukaska? Something like that. I probably botched that, but doesn't matter. So there is benefit in taking Umbar. But besides that, 2 tiers of port is not bad either. It's pretty alright. You are not restricted in farming, which is not this, but is this. So 4 tiers of farming to you. You're not restricted in mines either. You have all right mines, not the best, but not the worst either, I think. There is something else, and that is displayed in here. You are restricted in your buildings. To unlock your highest tier of smiths, highest tier of cities and strongholds, you need to complete the Gather the Tribes script, which is basically everything Arad is built around. The Gathering the Tribes script. I will explain the script when we're there, but do note you need to unlock certain buildings and units, because also your units are restricted behind it. Then dealing with guilds. You have 3 of them. The Merchants Guild, the Warriors Guild and the Horse Breeders Guild. We start with the Warriors Guild, because basically every faction gets that guild. First tier gives you melee weapon bonus, and the second tier gives an additional morale bonus worldwide. Not the greatest guild in my opinion. It's my opinion, it should give something more than that. I think most of the times I don't think it's worth it. Then the Horse Breeders Guild, who is most of the time seems worse, but is in my opinion better. First tier only speeds up replenishment of all cavalry. Does the Warriors Guild do that as well? It doesn't say so. And the second guild, second tier gives you Muhat Beastmasters, which is a camel unit. Very, very, very nice. Last but not least, the Merchants Guild, who is a very powerful economical guild. First tier, increased tradable goods, so it will boost your income. And the second tier gives you access to 1 merchant. Do remember, guilds works in follow ways. The first tier can be built everywhere and unlimited amount. The second tier can only be built once in a whole faction. And the third tier can only be built once in the whole world. So if you find you don't have any guild where you can build a third tier, so if you find one, it might give more benefits, but I'm not sure. I know that the third tier of Merchant Guild gives another merchant, and the Horse Breeders Guild might give another unit, but I'm not sure about that. Do I need to talk about culture? I think I do. The Dark Shrines. The Dark Shrines are one of the better culture buildings in my opinion. First tier already giving a population growth, which is already nice. Second tier more population growth and a public order bonus. And the third tier is pretty amazing actually. Public order, free upkeep, population growth, and retraining costs reduced. So it's really worth getting these buildings up and running. Because besides the culture, it gives so much more in my opinion. Then your barracks. For your barracks you need the Great Hall and the Palace, which means only the Town Hall line is required to upgrade your military buildings. For blacksmithing, you are seen as a human faction, so you only have 3 tiers of blacksmith up to the blacksmith. I think that's everything I need to say about the buildings. You do have the sea trade building, like most factions who have access to ports, which just increase your income through trade. And a flat income bonus, which is nice. And pretty huge actually. So that is everything you need to know about the buildings of Harad. And now we are dealing with well, the most important thing for Harad, and that is scripts and gameplay events. And there is actually one script for Harad, and that's a Gather the Tribes script. We've seen it before in other overviews. I think only Annette White for as far we have done, but Rhun has one as well. And it basically means you need to conquer land to gather different tribes living in the area and bring them under your command. And Harad scripts works as following. You need a certain amount of cities to unlock certain tribes. So with Annette White we saw we need a specific city to conquer a specific tribe. Here with Harad it's just a number of cities. So the first one we will be able to unlock are the Muhat tribe, who brings in javelins and camels. To unlock them you need 4 regions. And it will be quite easy if you play, well, obviously, I would say Tal Ajaf, Astala and Amrun would be sufficient to unlock the Muhab tribe. If you have unlocked the Muhab tribe, the next goal are the Trollmen. The Trollmen will join you if you have 8 regions, which will be much harder, especially if the game progresses. Other faction will start mopping up certain regions. So that is why I would say that it's very important to make choices in which regions you're gonna conquer. For example, if you take Tal Ajaf, Global Mithlond and Imnad Karnan as your first form, you basically block off Khan to expand to the west, the Ar-Adunaim to expand to the north, and it gives you more time to mop up these regions that are less likely to be taken by those factions. So with 8 regions you get the help of the Trollmen. If you continue and you conquer 11 more regions, so you own 12 regions, the Ashari warriors will join you. The Ashari warriors will bring in, well, that's my coffee machine again. The Ashari warriors will bring in archers and double-handed, double swords warriors. But their strength lies in hidden tactics. The Trollmen offers you very strong warriors with, I think most of them have double hit points, so very nice. But that is not where it ends. If you then have 15 regions at your disposal, the last and most dangerous weapon of Harad will be unlocked. The Mumakil. Do note for the Mumakil you do need to own Ankaragmir, because that's the only place they come from. It's there. I think it's even a resource, but I'm not sure. Well, whatever. Anyway, they come from Ankaragmir only, because I don't think they come from Final Bell as well. No, the drill square is only there in Ankaragmir. And that will be listed here. The Haradrim Wastes, which is all the way down south. That is this region. Ankaragmir. So once you have 15 provinces, you'll unlock the Mumakil, and it also ends the script. So that is the point where you have gathered your tribes and have enough cultural status to be able to upgrade your towns and cities. Alright, that is Harad on the campaign map. There are no other gameplay events for Harad specifically. There is this small feature where if you take Umbar, you get their lowest tier of ships, but I already mentioned that. But besides that, it is just straightforward. A pretty straightforward campaign. And I have to say it tends to be one of the more harder ones. Because not only are you basically fighting against Gondor and Dol Amroth, you're also fighting with Khan and the Ar-Adunaim for the rebel provinces in the area. Because they are, they can make or break your campaign. Because you will need the specific tribes to bolster your force. Because although the Southern units are pretty alright, they will suffer a mid to late tier, mid to late game against the more superior troops of the enemy. And then you will need the edge you can get with the Ashari. Especially the archer variant is very nice, but I don't think we can see them because they are locked behind the scripts. So unfortunately, I don't think we can see any of them. No. They script locked, so we can't see them. So it tend to be somewhat of the harder campaigns, but if you are able to manage it, it is a very nice campaign, I have to say. They have some early tier pikes who will be pretty useful, and well, if you have cavalry generals, you always have a good chance of survival. So that is it about the campaign map side of Harad. I will see you in a second for the battle map side. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battlefield side of Harad. And in a quick overview, you will see that I have changed up around a few things, and I will go through it when we start. But basically, I have set it up to show what will be unlocked, what you get once things got unlocked, and well, there are a few things I need to say about it, but that will be when we there. But overall, you see that we are actually a pretty well-rounded faction, with enough options in infantry, enough options as missiles, and enough options in the cavalry side. But we start with the first units that are available, and that are, well, pretty trash tier units. And that are the Haradrim units. Starting with the Haradrim Spearmen with a 4 attack, a 6 charge, and a 4 defense. Well, these guys are pretty abysmal. They are spearmen, so they are skilled against mounts. They have average morale, impetuous morale spawns, which is pretty nice. So they deal with morale shocks really good. They're 10% faster than other units, and as spearmen, they have a bonus against all mounts. They are supported by, well, equally abysmal archers with a 3 melee attack, a 3 missile attack, a 4 charge, and a 5 defense. It's not great. Although 3 missile attack is pretty alright for a low tier archer. They have average morale, poor morale response, 10% movement bonus, 80 missiles, 150 meter range, and a low accuracy. So, well, they will try to shoot, they will hit something, but it is not amazing. Then we come to the Southron units, which are on the first glance already much better than the Haradrim units. We're starting with the Southern Warband with a 6 attack, a 6 charge, 11 defense. You see that is, well, pretty direct, well, a direct upgrade from the Haradrim Spearman, and a huge one too. Almost triple the the armor of the total defense, and well, pretty alright attack. They have average morale spawns, 5% faster, bonus against mounts. Just these guys will be able to kill something before they will run. They are supported by the Southron Pikemen with a 4 attack, a 5 charge, and a 7 defense. They do lack some of the defense of the warband, but they will be able to kill a lot more once they are able to hold a tight formation, because that is a requirement for spearmen. The attack can be tripled one if they are in a good position. It's quite a niche unit to use, but very strong if you have, if you understand how, and it's not that hard to get there. They have average morale, good morale spawns, 5% faster than other units, bonus against mounts, and not restricted in any way. Then we also have a second archer on this tier with the Southern Archers with a 5 attack, a 4 missile, a 7 defense. Way better than the Haradrim Archers. Average morale spawns, 24 missiles, 170 meter range, and an average accuracy. So overall, just a way better archer unit. On this tier, we are also supported with the Southern Lancers with a 6 attack, an 8 charge, a 7 defense. It's a pretty good low tier cavalry unit. They have average morale spawns, average morale, 5% faster than other horses, and a secondary attack of 5, meaning they are a charge cavalry. We also have the Camel Riders, and I think they require barren regions, so they are restricted. That's because they are camels. And I think they require the Muhat tribe before you can even train them. So these guys you might need to unlock them. A 6 attack, a 6 charge, a 30 defense. Similar to the Southern Lancers, only some more defense. Average morale spawns. And a bonus against horses and the Amrodian Swan Cavalry. That are the generals and the Swan Guard. I'm not sure. Knights of the Silver Swan. The Knights of the Silver Swan. They ride these horses. So they have a bonus against them as well. And they scare horses, which I think mean that the morale of cavalry drops one when they are attacked by camels. Right, then we come to the first tribe you need to unlock. As you see, they don't offer any line infantry, but they do offer some missiles. The Muhat Tribesmen with a 6 melee attack, a 9 missile attack, a 6 charge, and a 30 defense. They are on the same tier as the Southern units. They have armor piercing, melee attack, and missile attack. So both the javelins as well as the weapons they use when they are done, which I think are spears as well, are armor piercing. They have good morale, it patches morale spawns, 5% movement bonus, bonus against mounts, 3 missiles, 65 meter range, and high accuracy, so they will hit where they are aiming for. They have this really nice looking Eastern tribe vibe. I really like most visuals in the game, and this is not an exception. They are supported by the Muhat Tribesmen with a 7 attack, a 10 missile attack, a 5 charge, and 30 defense. These are just mounted tribesmen, and they are mounted on camels. Both weapons are armor piercing. They are camels, so they scare horses. And if they're slightly slower than other cavalry, although it might be because they are camels, but then these camels are, oh, these are equally. So they are slightly slower than other cavalry units. They do have 5 missiles, 85-meter range, average accuracy, and they also require a barren region because they are camels. And you can see which region is barren by looking into the green books. I've mentioned that many times before. If you click on a city, the first building you see is a green book, and that listed which region types are within a certain region. So the Muhat tribesmen are unlocked when you have 4 regions. Then we come to the Trollmen. They offer some infantry, some missile units, but they don't give you the Muma kills. I put them there because else I need to make a theory behind it. So the Muma kills are, well, basically listed on the far end of this list. But the Trollmen. We start with the Trollmen Warriors. With a 12 attack, a 6 charge and a 14 defense. These are some fearsome striking units. They frighten nearby enemies, very good morale, impetuous morale spawns slightly faster than other units. High attack, which these are really good strike units and will be able to hold the line quite well. Although they are let down pretty much in the defense, and they basically don't wear any armor, so that is not that great to see. They will be, well, quite susceptible to archer fire, although they carry a large shield which protects a small portion of them. I think they are inspired by some African Numidian tribes, I would say, without trying to give any racism something. They really give me this well, I would say Numidian classic era tribes vibe. I really like it, I have to say. And they are, well, supported by some fearsome, really fearsome units. The Trollmen Champions, with a 30 attack, a 9 charge, and a 19 defense. Well, they are quite some better than the Warriors, but they don't wear a shield. They have limited armor. The most of their defense is in defense skill, so they are, look out with archer fire with them. But they are armor piercing. They frighten nearby enemies, skilled against mounts, excellent morale, and locked, so they will not run away. Impetuous morale response, 5% movement bonus, bonus against mounts. Really strong unit. And just like the Trollmen Warriors, they have 2 hit points, so it will be quite difficult to take them down. And then we also have some javelins again. The Trollmen Hunters with a 10 melee attack, a 12 missile attack, a 6 charge and a 12 defense. We see again what we see throughout all of the Trollmen. High attack, low defense. So they are really strikers. Very good morale, impetuous morale spawns, 5% movement bonus, bonus against mounts, 3 missiles, 60-meter range, high accuracy. So comparable to the Muhat tribesmen, actually. So those are 2 javelin units at your disposal. And the Trollmen come in when you have 8 regions. Do note, once you drop in regions, you will not lose the access to them. So you will always have, you only need once to unlock them, and then you will have always access to them. Then we go to the Hashari units. When you have 12 regions, you will have them unlocked. And they give you 1 infantry unit and 1 archer unit. And we start with the infantry unit, the Hashari Blades, with a 15 attack, a 9 charge, and 60 and a 14 defense. We see again, well, it's basically what we see throughout most of the roster of Arad. High attack, but limited defense. And a lot of defense is in defense skill, so pretty susceptible to archer fire. Very good morale spawns, 10% movement bonus. They can hide everywhere. Powerful charge. 9. I think everything above a 7 charge is considered powerful. And they really have this assassin kind of vibe. And I think that's also kind of their story. They are like the secret guard and kind of assassins. Really cool, actually. They are supported by the Hashari's Shadows. That's an archer variant of the blades, with a 9 melee attack, a 7 missile attack, a 5 charge, and a 12 defense. They are your best archers. But they are not great. They have poison arrows, which reduce morale, which could be a huge turning point. So if you use these archers on a unit, get their morale down, and then charge him with a cavalry, they pretty much breaks right away. So it's really powerful if you are able to use it well. Very good morale response, 10% movement bonus, 24 missiles, 170 meter range, and a very high accuracy. And especially the latter two stats are not that great for the best archer in your roster. 170 meter range is not great. Very high accuracy is decent, but not more than that. For example, Gondor has access to the Osgiliath veterans, Athelian rangers, and I think even the Blackroot Vale archers have better stats on the lower parts of this description than the Hashari Shadows. So archery fire is not your strength. But it's a very nice unit to have in your roster and could be very useful if used well. And these guys come in once you have 12 regions. Then the last unlockable unit are the Mumakil, which come in when you have 15 regions. They have a 60 attack, a 6 missile attack, because that are the archers on top of it. So the missile attack seems pretty low, but it's just an archer missile, so it's decent, actually pretty decent. It's not as good as the Ashar Shadows, but way better than the Southern Archers. Yeah, pretty much. 20 charge, 38 defense, 14 hit points. So, pretty alright. They inspire nearby troops. Javelin thrown before charge. Well, I don't think that's a thing, actually. But it might be. They frighten nearby enemies. 70% movement speed. That means that 30% lower than other units, but I think that's more because of the movement of these units. So I think they are on equal speed as infantry. So they are basically slow because they are considered cavalry. But it is not as bad as you might think. And a bonus against all mounts. And they require the Haradrim waste. But I already said that. I don't think there's not listed how many arrows I had, but I think it's pretty much unlimited. I think it was set on 500 arrows each or something, which is incredible much. So these are the unlockable units, and now we will deal with 3 units you will always have who are part of well, your tribe actually. The Serpent tribe. And we start with the infantry unit that gives that that Utbah comes with, and that are the Serpent Bladesmen. With a 30 attack, a 6 charge, and a 21 defense, we see for the first time a pretty well defended unit, well armored unit. Although an armor of 8 is not too great, but it's better than most of your units have actually. Yes, most of them have really abysmal armor, so 8 armor is for your faction pretty good. Very good morale response, 5% movement bonus. Just a solid sword and board unit. And here we see some, well, something that might be the strength of your tribe. The cavalry with the Serpent Guard, with a 10 attack, an 11 charge, and 80 defense. Well, these guys are comparable to, well, what would I say? Aeoliad Lancers of Rohan, with a powerful charge and a pretty decent defense. So these are pretty good cavalry. They are no match for Knights of the Silver Swan or anything Khan has to field, but they are pretty good. They have a very good morale response, slightly faster than other cavalry units. Bonus against other horses, and they are a shock cavalry with a secondary attack. They are supported by an archer variant, the Serpent Archers. I wanted to say horse archers, but it's just the Serpent Archers. With an 8 melee attack, a 7 charge, a 7 missile attack, a 6 charge, and a 14 defense. They are solid horse archers. They have very good morale response, 5% movement bonus, 30 missiles, 130 meter range, and a high accuracy. And none of them are restricted, I think. No, they are trainable everywhere, and I think these guys are also trainable. Oh no, I forgot. So the Trollman comes only from barren regions. That is quite important to know. And the tribesmen are also trainable everywhere. So a lot of your units are restricted actually. I didn't know. The Hashari are not. No. So the Trollmen are all restricted to the barren regions, just like the camels and the Mumakils. So a pretty huge part of your roster is locked behind certain regions. So barren regions is pretty much everything in the Rondor, but besides that, it's very scarce. As soon as you come into the lands of Gondor, or well, I think Rohan of Mordor is considered barren as well. But once you get to Mirkwood, Rohan, Gondor, and even further, barren regions will be quite scarce to find. So a lot of your units will not be trainable there. Then last but not least, your general, the Black Snake Guard, which is just a smaller variant of the Serpent Guard, with a 10 attack, a 10 charge, and a 22 defense. While they are more defensible, and they have to pay with it with 1 less charge. They have very good morale response, 20% faster than other cavalry. They are shock cavalry, so they have a secondary attack, and a bonus against all horses. Alright, I will put you in there, put you in one army, give you to the AI. I wanted to control the Mumakil, because I really want to try, I will try to do something funny with them. Then there's only one thing left to do, and that is take a look at who we are fighting. We are dealing with next week. I see a lot of white. That could be quite a giveaway. Because there are no white horses in the game. They walk pretty funny, so they are wargs. We're dealing with an evil faction. I see the banners are quite a giveaway. I see red and a lot of white actually. And we are dealing with the Orcs of Gundabad next week. So, pretty... They're one of the better Orc factions, if not the best Orc faction actually. Bring these guys dead and have Ogre monks, everything. Come on. Even the bulk champions don't stand a chance against the Muma kill, which is pretty hilarious actually. Oh, there are some Uruk-hai archers in there. Well, Gundabad next week. Yeah. Thought the Muma kills will really have done the work. Oh, we lost 2 of them in quite a short time actually. Alright, that was it. Alright, I hope to see you next week. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to the video. And I hope to see you soon in another video of Divide and Conquer. But until then, goodbye.